Hello, good people. Welcome to my channel. How's everybody doing? Please like, please subscribe, please share. I hope I said everything that is to be said before I start with this video. And just please subscribe and share with your family and friends. So today we are talking about how I got into the industry. I've been getting a lot of questions on how I started in the industry and how I got into the industry of acting. That is, some of you that are not aware of what I do. I'm an actress, and I get a lot of questions on what to do to get to the industry, on how I got into the industry. So I thought, let me make a video just to let you know on how my journey was for me to be in the position that I'm in today. So keep in mind, nothing is easy, nothing was given to me, everything was hard work. So that's the first thing I will say to you guys is work, work, work. So let's start from the beginning. I am from Ndabayaki. That's where I was born and raised. Ndabayaki is in KZN. Rural KZN at that, not in Durban. A lot of people know Durban. No, I'm like 2 hours away from Durban. So I am far away from places that you would think have opportunities. I'm from Ndabayaki. Ndabayaki is a village and not much is done there. So of course I had a dream of wanting to be an actress. And when I hit matric, I then decided, no, I'm going to go and further my studies in drama. Yeah. Now, the choice I had was, do I then study in Durban, or do I then come to Joburg, or then go to Cape Town? I was very strategic in every move I made. So when I got the opportunity to then go and study in varsity, I came to AFDA. I went up to Joburg, studied it after university. And the reason I did that, because the industry is based in Joburg. So I was very strategic on the way I moved. Because I was like, yes, we have an industry in Durban, but the industry we have in Durban is mostly for music. It's not really for acting. Only now we have an industry in Durban. So if you're in Durban, you can then go to Durban and study there. There's productions there now. So that's a good thing. And there is an industry in Cape Town, which only now I'm interested in going there. Because most of the time it's international stuff, all those good things. So that's also an option. But at the time when I was doing my varsity, Joburg was the place to be. And it still is the place to be, because the industry itself, the bigger parts, it's my water bottle, but the bigger part of the industry is Joburg. So when I decided, yes, I want to do acting, I then came to AFDA, where I studied. Back in the days, this AFDA would allow you to do 4 things. So AFDA does everything industry orientated. So if you want to be a camera person, if you want to do editing, if you want to do script writing, if you want to do anything, basically it's the industry itself within AFDA. So that's the best thing about it. But the negative thing about AFDA is that if you really love theater, it's not the place for you as an actor, because then it's very camera orientated. So in theater, we didn't do any theater stuff at AFDA. But anything that has anything to do with television, with film, with Nje, it's AFDA for you. So I went to AFDA, studied, graduated, did my 3 years, got my degree, graduated with my live performance and motion picture degree. So I can then do production design. I even forgot my second degree. I only know live performance because that's what I'm following. Yes, production design. This is production design. Yes, that's of course. So if I wanted to be a production designer, I can actually be a production designer. I also did script writing, but I stopped with script writing in my second year. I didn't take it over to my final year. So in my final year, I did acting and production design. And then I graduated. Isn't that nice? Guys, Like all South Africans, we have our degrees, we are ready for the big world, and then wong wong wong, no work. Remember, I was chilling at home, and my parents were like, "You can't be here, because even if you got an opportunity, you are in KZN. You need to go back to Joburg." Came back to Joburg. I think I was just hustling my way through, hey? And my first ever job was with, oh, before that. So I graduate, and then I did an audition, my first ever audition. I got my first ever audition was an advert, and it was a Vodacom advert, and I got the job. I was so excited. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. You can even Google it, guys. So wara wara what. Just go Vodacom advert, wara wara what. I'm there. This is what I was doing. That was I was doing that, but I got, and it paid really good. It paid really good. I think it paid like 27,000 rand. That was like 11, 12, 13 years ago. Paid like 20 something thousands, you know? And that was my first ever job. Literally just as I came out of varsity. But remember, I haven't been working. That's like in the middle of the year. And I still don't have work. So I used all of the money for rent and stuff, you know. And then I knew some people in the industry because we used to go to church with them and things like that. And I remember Unkanyiso Bengu. I love that man. Love that man. I remember we were just not working. There was no job. We'll do auditions. There's nothing you would. And the nice thing with AFTA is that you can even do production and you can do other things because they teach you a lot of things at school. So there was nothing, no work. And I remember Onkanyiso was like, he had a friend, he had a company. He had EATTV. They shooted gospel classics. So I remember the lady that was the reception of the company was pregnant, and she was going on leave for like 3 months, I think, for 3 months. And Ukanyis was like, listen, I spoke to my friend, there's space, but it's not what you studied, it's just so you can get some work, you know, for 3 months, and you'll be good. For those 3 months, I worked my ass off. Because the thing is, I didn't study reception work. I didn't. And I don't like answering phones. I don't want to be a receptionist, but I worked my ass off. I worked, and when the 3 months came, they extended my contract, but then they extended it and they put me as a production assistant. So I moved from that to production assistant in the company. And then from there, we're shooting gospel classics, and we would shoot. So what happened is ATTV was working with Steenberg Production. Steenberg Production does Noord for Noord, and ATTV does gospel classics. And they will sometimes collaborate on some shows, which then means all the people in those companies will work together on a specific show that they're collaborating with. And I won't lie to you, I always say this to people. Even if you study to be an accountant and you get to be a reception in that company that still does accounting, work your ass off. Because then when your contract ends, they know exactly your work ethic. They know you work your ass off. So they'll give you an opportunity. So every time they'll collaborate, I would work. I am a workaholic in a way. But I'm getting old, so I'm getting lazy. I'm getting lazy. So I would work. So every time they collaborated, I would work. By the time, I think I worked at ATTV for a year. By the time I left for Uzalo to be a production coordinator there, but I didn't last Uzalo. I stayed there for 5 months. I literally moved to Uzalo when Uzalo was starting. So we opened the industry in Durban. So we moved in September, October, November, December, Jan, February, I resigned. And then I didn't have work. I chilled. I was just chilling on my savings. There was no work, nothing. It was quiet. And then I remember I then went to work for Sternberg Television because they had known me from all the other production work that they had collaborated with on ATTV. So I worked for Sternberg Television for years and I enjoyed it there. I enjoyed working with those people, lovely human beings. I enjoyed it. I worked on words and numbers. I trained as on words and numbers. I was training as a flow manager. And then everything else was a production coordinator. So we did music relays, we did Nerd for Nerd, we did all of those productions. So I stayed a lot with ATTV, moved a little bit to Uzalo. I forgot the name of the production, and then I moved back to Nerd for Nerd, which is Sternberg Television, and then I worked there until I got to Mbango. Now in between as well, I was doing small gigs there and there, acting wise. And before I got Umbango, I just bought my car. I love my car. I literally had just gotten my little baby. And I always say my car is a blessing. Because what I would do, because I had stopped doing auditions because there was no time for auditions. I worked 8 until 4:30. And when I got my car, I then used my lunch breaks to do my auditions. Guys, one thing about me, I'm very strategic when it comes to my life. Things that I have control over, I would definitely have control over it, unless if God wants it another way. So I was very strategic. When I started in the industry, I didn't start as an actress. I didn't start in my industry, but I started in a company that would lead me to be in the industry. But even when I started in that company, I was not doing what I would love to do. I was reception. I knew nothing about reception, but I did everything in my power to master that and do that. And basically what I'm trying to say is, especially in these times where there's no work, you can have your honors, you can have your degree, you can have whatever, but if there's no income coming, take whatever job you get, but be strategic about it. Take that job because you know you want to have something in your CV. Because it's kind of pointless for you to have a degree, to have a diploma, to have your honors, and still have no experience. Just because when are you waiting for the perfect job for what you studied? No. Be strategic. So that sometimes you can have that reference in your CV as you were a secretary, and that alone can open doors for you, because then they know that you have been in a working space. You have interacted with other people. You know how it is or how it's like in the workspace. So be strategic on how you do things. Even when you meet new people, that's why I always say be nice to everybody, because you don't know who will be your boss tomorrow. The person ombukela phansi today, when you meet them at your workspace, no. Their dream might be bigger than yours. Their dream might be that they want to own a company one day. The only reason they're there, they're learning how other companies operate, so that when they open their own businesses, kulula. So I was very strategic like that. Now, that is me behind the scenes. I was behind the scenes for, I know I summarized the whole thing and it feels like, oh my gosh, it just went like, choo, 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 choo. No, it wasn't as easy as that. But obviously, for the purposes of the video, everything comes across as easy. That took me from 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and parts of 17. So 6 years and a half. I was behind the scenes, doing the most behind the scenes, flow managing, production work, production coordination, what else? Yeah, so I was doing the most behind the scenes. And then I remember I was still working at Sternberg Television, and I got a call one morning. Yeah, guys. So I got a call one morning because I remember I told you when I bought my car, I used to now start going to auditions. So what happens with these auditions we go to, sometimes they keep your tape. They might not hire you on that job that they give you, but they have your tape and they might be interested in giving you work for a different character. So when a different character pops up, they'll be like, wait a minute, I know someone who'll be perfect for this. Let's use them. You see, so I had gone to Mbango way before I even started working at Steenberg, like 2 years, 3 years back, and I auditioned for a character which didn't have lines, didn't have anything. It was just a character that's there for a few days and it's gone. And I remember the creative director, I think, yeah, it was the creative director at the time, it was Tessa. And she's like, I cannot waste your talent. I definitely want to hire you for this because you're the best candidate, but I feel like I'll be wasting you. I feel like we could still use you for a different character later on in life, a much bigger character. So no, I cannot. Because they were like, we're taking you, but would you want to do this? But we don't want to waste your talent. She was like, really, I would advise you against it. So I listened to her in terms of taking the literally my character didn't have lines, didn't have anything. It was there for literally a week. She was like, no, I don't want to take you for this. I'm taking someone else. But we'll look into other things. Remember, this is 2-3 years before 2017. My life moves on. I live my life. I do me. I audition. I do this and that. Yo. I do this and that. I literally forgot about that. And then one day I got a call. They were doing Ingos. I got a call, they were doing Ingozi. And they had still a character that doesn't have lines. And someone, they had hired a celebrity, one of those people that are already known in the industry, a proper actor for this character. But she was like, no, there's no lines. I'm not taking this. So literally they phoned me that morning and they're like, she just dropped us now. And she said she doesn't want, and she's not taking this because there's no lines. And this character might grow. Gwingos. I was like, say no more. Remember, I am an actress at heart. That's what I want to do, but I'm doing work behind the scenes because, hey, umuntu needs to live their lives, man. We need to survive. So I was like, say no more, I'm coming. And I phoned my work, and what did I even say at work? Oh my gosh, this is over 5 years. What did I said something. I think I made some excuse or something. And the crazy thing is that when they phoned me, I had already dressed. I was ready to go to work. And they phoned me. And I was like, I am not going to work anymore. I'm going this direction. And I went there. I didn't have lines. But my character was there. I think I had like 5 scenes. She didn't have lines in all of those scenes. And I shot. They called me again the next day. I had lines. They literally sat down that afternoon, wrote in lines for my character. I then had lines. I think I shot for like 3-4 days straight, and I had lines. I was like, wow, okay. And literally from that, 2 days after shooting Ingozi, I get a call from Mbango production now. Because remember, the people that phoned me Ingozi were the Ingozi production. I get a call because Mbango was, the word of mouth production was doing Ingozi. Word of mouth also does Mbango. You know how productions have a lot of shows that they'll be doing. So because of my cooperation with the first one, I get a call now from the Mbango production saying, hey, we have an audition for a character like this. She won't be there for long. She is there for 3 months because my character was literally supposed to bring Imani back from wherever she was. And I was like, say no more. I'm coming in for an audition. So I went in and I auditioned, and that audition took so long, y'all. That audition started in 2016, it finished in 2017. I even forgot about it. So I auditioned, my life moved on. They called me like months down the line for a callback. I remember, actually, let me take it back. So the first day I went for the audition, when they called me in for an audition, there were a lot of people. Keep in mind, the only time I had to do auditions was during my lunch break. and my lunch break was an hour. Now, my offices where I was working were by Cresta and SABC's by Auckland Park. That's like a 50-minute drive, but for someone who's still a learner, that's a 30 minutes drive. And I still need to get there and be in the queue. I remember I phoned in before. I'm like, guys, I'm only doing this during my lunch break. Can I please audition and come back? And when I got there, I was like, no, this line is so long. Can I please audition and come back? And when you're in a hurry, you're not doing your best. And I stood there and I went in and auditioned, and they were giving me feedback, but I wasn't listening to the feedback because I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get back before they realized that because I couldn't ask them and say, yeah, I want to go in audition. It's like saying to a boss, I'm interested in someone else employing me. I'm going in for an interview. No, you can't say that. So they were giving me feedback and whatnot. And I was like, yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate the feedback, but I have to go. I need to get back to work. I had to leave only for an hour. It already took me 30 minutes to get here. It already just took me another 30 minutes waiting for my turn to come in. So I have another 30 minutes to get back to work before I get fired. And they let me go, and I ran down the SABC corridors to the point that I actually sprained my leg. Until today, I have a sprained leg because the way I was running, I ran and I went back. So a few months down the line, I actually forgot about that. After doing an audition, it was wait around. It was, oh my gosh, they're going to call me. You wait until you're like, I didn't get it. Months down the line, I think a month or so down the line, I get a call back. Now, if you don't know what a callback is, in the entertainment industry, if you go for an audition is like an interview, your first interview, and then a callback will be your second interview. So your audition is a lot of people. Second audition, which is a callback, which is your second interview, then they've cut people down, so it's maybe like 20 people out of the 50. So I'll get a second callback. I do the callback. I don't even remember how the callback went, but I did the callback. Now, corner during my lunch break, but it was less people. I get my third callback. Months down the line, I also do it. And then I get my, and then I get a call now a few months down the line. Guys, I think I did that audition for more than 6 months to a year. And then a few months down the line, I get what do you call this? A screening. So that's the final one. A screening. Once they want you to do a screening, that's the final one. After that, then they'll tell you who's gotten the thing. Now in the screening, there was 5 people auditioning. From the whole lot of people, over 50, to literally 5 people left. The nerves. Now, what happens in the screening, they take you to the actual studio where they shoot. Whatever sets they have there, that's the sets they'll use. So the actual studio where the actual actors are acting, that's where they take you. And they direct you. The actual director that directs the show will come in. They will direct you, Guti. So they've given you a script to prepare. The director will suga la uye lapha, and then in this line is suga la uya lapha, and this line is sugumisa. You pick up this cup and you drink it. In this line you open this and that. Guys, already I'm nervous. That day, I think I took the day off at work because I knew screening will take longer. I knew screening does take long. So I took a day off at work. So I wasn't in a hurry that day. But the nerves, oh my gosh, the nerves. And I remember the person who was reading with him was Raphael. If you guys remember, what was Raphael's name? Mbango. Uguimbeu right now. I forgot his characters. But Tandaza's son. He was Tandaza's son, Gumbango. Excuse me. Brilliant person to act along. So I remember my scene was in Duk Atole. And I even remember the directions until this day. I remember it. And the scene we were supposed to do is me meeting my ex at work, but someone that I still have feelings for, but we broke up. But no, It's not there. I have love for. It's an ex that you still love, but the circumstances will never allow you guys to go back together, to get back together. And I remember I was supposed to, how my sin started. I was by, if you don't watch Mbango, please go and watch Mbango and watch the Dugatole MMC area. Then you know exactly what I'm talking about. So how my sin started is I'm standing by my Hangwane's canteen area, um getting my coffee, and then he comes behind me, he says the line, and I turn around, I'm like, yes, yeah, it's you. And then he says something, and then we talk, and then he irritates me. That's the script. He irritates me, and then I walk away. As I walk away, I walk to where the reception is, but I walk inside where the receptionist usually stands. And that's what they say. So you have to create your own things. I walk inside and I stand there. But instead of just standing, I make as if I'm looking for something. And then I need to, he says something again, and then I come out and I stand there and we square off with each other and we look at each other and say something. And then I go back again and I stand inside again. And then he says something and I come out. Yeah, there was so much direction. Sometimes they direct you like that just to also trick you to see if you were listening, if you can take direction, if you listen. It's also a trick of just knowing how far to push you. And I finished it and I walked out. For the first time in my life, I'm a nervous person when I audition. I'm horrible at auditioning. I always say I wish people could just hire me and then they'll get whatever they want from me, because I would deliver. My nerves won't be there. So I'm horrible at auditioning. But that day, I was so proud of myself. I walked out of that. I was like, listen, even if they don't take me, I know I have it. You know, when you like, I did the best, I did the most. I know I've got this. Like, whether they hire me or not, this just put a stamp for me. Guti, acting, I'm at the right place. Acting is for me. So as soon as I walked out of the studio, Udingan, who plays James, he screams from far. So he was inside watching. So there's two doors. There's one on the other side. There's one on the side where I walked out. As soon as I walk out, he just starts screaming. Sorry, guys. My ring lights just went down. Okay, maybe this is the sign for me to finish my story, but it's long and exciting to me, and I hope it gives someone some encouragement. You know, it was never easy for anybody. It's not easy at all. So he just sees me, as I was saying. So, oh, Dingane sees me and it's like, you were brilliant. Guys, the way I was so happy, but at the same time, all the ladies that we had that had to do that audition were great. So there was 5 of them that were left, and they just started, we had to go upstairs to the office, and we were sitting by the couch, and they just kept on calling us one by one. And each person that came out was like, no, I didn't get it, good luck, guys. No, I didn't get it, good luck, guys. No. So it was up to the top 2, and we were a draw. And but they were like, to the person that was before me, they were like, you're really good, we will look into another character for you. And then they called me in. They didn't even tell me that time, guys. I had to go through the whole of December waiting to know. They only told me in late Jan, early Feb. Actually, you're starting in February. You have been hired. So the whole, even that day, even though they told everybody no, they still didn't tell me. So I didn't know whether they still liked me or they wanted to do more auditions. They were just like, so you work, or how are your hours? So you, hair wise, please send us, because I look different in every hairstyle. I think you guys have also realized that in every hairstyle I do, I look completely different. So they wanted to see me in all my different hairstyles. So I had to send them pictures. They wanted to see different things. They wanted me to do different things, come in and dress and see how it looks. Now, because I was new in that regard, in that space of the industry, the telenovela, drama, soapy space of the industry, I didn't know about the coming in and dressing. It actually means you have been hired. I didn't know about that. I wanted them to say, Sesiqashile. I was waiting for that. Until I heard that, Mina, I was not hired. So I came in to do makeup. I remember I kept on coming in for makeup and hair. At first, they wanted me to do it twisty. So I'm very playful when it comes to my hair. So one stage, I had blue and black hair. So they're like, we actually like this look. Can you come in and try this look? I came in, tried the look. They were like, we like it, but it doesn't bring that thing we're looking for. I came in with a different hairstyle. They're like, it's beautiful. Everyone was voting for it, but like it's not doing it. Until one day, the owner of the company was like, please go downstairs to the makeup department and ask them to cut your hair. Huh? Hybo. Just and that day I just came that morning and I'm like, I just done a new hairstyle, guys. A nice bob nyana situation going on. I was looking so hella cute. I was okay. And they're like, please go downstairs and ask them to cut your hair. I'm the type. Even before that, I had cut my hair. I was just growing my hair back. I was like, okay. I went downstairs. They cut my hair. When I came back, everyone was like, this is the look. This is the makeup. This is the look. And then I came back for another day as well for the clothes, do the whole fitting thing. And they were like, this is Ugogo. And now it was time for me to tell the company I was working for, I couldn't work. I waited until the last week. I was too scared. Because I love them so much. I was like, I don't want to do this. And I told them, they're like, actually, we knew you wouldn't stay with us for too long. We knew it. And they're like, go. And I remember because I was in shock because my character was there for 3 months. That's what they said to me, 3 months. And I was like, I don't want to leave my work for a character that's only 3 months. And I remember Johan was like, go do it. And then if they don't renew your character after 3 months, phone me. You still have your job back. Nothing gave me confidence than that. Nothing gave me confidence than that. I was like, okay, if he says, because I was like, are you sure? It's like, don't worry, you have your job back. I was like, okay. I left. Because it was like, 40, there's no way they won't renew your contract. There is no way. So I went and, sorry, let me change this. Is this better? I went and acted for those 3 months, and when my character started showing, there was no way they could give me only 3 months and let me go. Because you guys, that's how you guys were all for Ugogo. So they had no choice but to be like, actually, this character is staying. People love her. And that's how I got to stay in Bango until now, because you guys love and support my character and support me. So I really appreciate you guys for that. So that's how I got into the industry. Obviously I'm running over all of these things, but it's a whole process. It's a whole emotional thing. It's a whole financial thing. Guys, auditioning back in the day was so hard because we didn't have Ubers and Bolts and all of those things. Yes, I'm old to some of y'all. We didn't have those things. So you know how I would go to these places and audition. You'll take a taxi, go to Bree or MTN, show the taxi driver, the address. Usually taxi drivers know all of this address. And that's how I got to realize to appreciate taxi drivers and security guards. Because those are the people that would help you. They would get you to where you're going. I remember I used to go to the taxi rank, show the marshal or the taxi driver. Obviously, I'll ask the marshal, I'm going to this place. And he'll be like, take that taxi. When you get inside the taxi, show the driver, I'm going to this place. Can you please show me? And they interview. And they really, really help you if you have an interview. Because everyone knows how hard it is to find work. So the interview, and he'll drive around and be like, okay, this is where I end. But the street you're looking for, ilapa. So look around that area. I'll get off, go to that area. For sure, there'll be a security guy somewhere. There's a house, a business, an engine garage that will have, actually engine garage people as well, yes. They'll be around the area. Ask those people. Babek director, bese bekuwokhisa kancane jikala ngenela and you'll find your place. And the other best way, I could tell you, imagine there's Ubers, but people that still can't afford an Uber, that's the best way to do it. And the second best way, which I got towards the end of me taking taxis and thingies to go to my auditions, taking taxis to go to my auditions, was that you actually, each and every single company has a receptionist. And receptionists are just like you and me. They have or are in their lives, they have in their lives taken taxis or are taking taxis still. So phone in the company if you have the address and the name of the company. Google it, phone the company and be like, sis, please help me. I have an audition with you tomorrow. Where do I get the taxis to come there? They're the best to direct you, because they'll tell you, go to number 5 at MTN, take that taxi and go, and the taxi will drop you by an engine garage. By that engine garage, you turn right. On that right, we are on your left. They're the best. So that's how I got to be in the industry, guys. So that's how I got to be in the industry. It was a tough one. I remember the Google audition when I walked in that day. I'm rushing, I'm late, I need to go back to my job. When I walked in, every single Mbango director was there. Every single Mbango producer was there. Now, if you don't know, production has the executive producer, who is basically the owner of the company, of the show. The executive producer was there. We have the series producer, second person in charge, basically the person who's like a CEO for this, who's like a COO for the CEO, is there. The line producer is there. The directors are usually, there's like 4 directors in SOP, 4 or 5 directors, all of them were there. And sometimes back in the day, and the casting director is there. And there were some actors, the main actors, the older actors that have been in Mbango for a while, they were all in there. I remember when I walked in, and I'm always carrying a water bottle. I was carrying my water bottle and I dropped it, because I was like, so many people, what is going on? I remember I walked in and I was like, and they made a joke, and I was like, okay, I picked it up. I literally closed my eyes, breathed, and I greeted everybody, and I stood in my spot. I will take my time with it. I need to center myself, because then once I get too nervous, then nothing will go right. I always go, Sanbonan, Ninjan, yeah, no, and I did my thing and I was done. Guys, this industry is not easy. The entertainment industry is not easy. It might sound very easy the way I'm explaining it, but it's very much not easy. Now, with me, when I was doing all of these auditions at that time, I didn't have an agent. The reason I was able to do the auditions, because I had made connections. So people knew I liked acting. People knew I was behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, you would make you talk to people. Just being nice to Abantu, you are then able later on to be like, hey, what's happening there? You are able to do such things. So at that time, I didn't have an agent. I did all of that by myself. I worked and connected with people by myself. So later on, I got myself an agent, because I had an agent before and I left my agent. So I was like, I can do this. So I was maneuvering all by myself. And then when I got to Mango later on, I then got myself another agent again, because as an actor, you never stop. And especially if you want to grow, you need to do other things outside. That's the best way to exercise your muscle. Now, being in a soapy is very hard to do that, but you need to do it. You need to exercise your muscle as an actor, or else you're just going to be that one character and that's it. So I got myself an agent, and this is one question I get a lot. Let's talk about it. An agent. So I usually say to people, to get a legit agent in this industry, go to your Google and type agencies under PMA. P for puppy, M for mommy, and A for animal. Type that. Someone is like, oh, really? Yes. Just in case you're thinking I'm saying BMA, PMA. All those agencies in there are the agencies you can phone. Now, keep in mind, Those agencies need you to have a degree, a diploma, something in your hand. You can't just, because I know a lot of people think, because I'm an ex, no, this is not just, this is a profession. The same way you respect a doctor for going to work and whatnot is the same way you need to respect this industry. Naboga, they need you to have a degree, a diploma, something. Even if, let's say, you're going to there's a certificate, something to show that you're actually working on the craft. So those agencies will need you to have that. And then so I always say, and people always ask me, well, you know, I got an agent and they're asking me to pay 5,000 rand. An agency should never ask you to pay money, especially that amount of money, because an agent finds you work, and then from that work they take a percentage. Let's say you get paid 10,000 rand, SARS will take their percentage and the agent will also take their percentage. So that's where they get their money from, not from you paying them. For why? No, you don't pay. So yes, that's how you get an agent, and an agent will then take you to all these auditions. But what I hope you take from this video is that be specific and strategic about how you move. I know a lot of people want to get that big job at the corner office immediately out of varsity. No, take whatever job, as long as it's a job where you can then have proper experience. And once you have that experience, then you can move, be strategic. No, be strategic about how you move. I'm extremely strategic on how I do things, especially when it comes to my career. That's one thing I'm strategic about. So guys, that's how I got into the industry. I hope I think it's time for me to say bye, because I'm hoping a lot and I don't know what I'm saying. And if there's any noises, I'm home. There's people walking around. I had to find a little corner for me to do my video. There's kids, there's people busy and talking on the other side. But anyway, please like, subscribe, and share with your family and friends. And there will be more of these videos where we talk about acting and things like that. But we're doing chilled vibes here. And I think out of the blue, I think the next time I post something or a sit down something, I will be working on a script, on how to work a script. Not a monologue yet, just the script. And then we can also do that script. I think that would help a lot of people. So I hope I helped you. If you've been having these questions on what to do, where to go, literally Google exactly what I said, and you'll be on your first step to the right direction. I also know Market Theatre has classes. I also know Access Space has classes. Phone those places. Phone Joburg Theatre. There's DNS everywhere. There's classes everywhere. Phone all of those places. Get yourself into an acting space and act. As an actor, you're like a soccer player. You need to continually be doing something acting wise. You need to flex and break your muscle, your acting muscle. So guys, love y'all. Let's talk more later. Share, like, comment. I love saying that so much. Share, like, comment, and subscribe. Bye bye, good people.